Trump just terminated deportation protections, and this could affect a lot of people.
President Donald Trump says he is taking action to end legal immigration status for some Somalis in Minnesota, effective immediately. A post on Truth Social says Minnesota, under Governor Walz, is a hub of fraudulent money laundering activity.
We know what our president has done. It is an attack on our community.
A massive fraud scheme uncovered in Minnesota found money intended for social services
Are you kidding
has been
me?
allegedly siphoned indirectly into the pockets of the Somali terrorist group Al-Shabaab.
This is wild.
Somali immigrants in Minnesota have reportedly been abusing systems meant to help the most unfortunate among us, including the latest federally funded autism services. The autism fraud scheme reportedly amassed $14 million through Medicare claims for services that were never provided, involving kids who never had autism. And the Somali immigrants behind this web of schemes have allegedly stolen billions from taxpayers, much of the money going back to the Somali government, where it would then end up in the hands of terrorists.
Trump took to social media Friday night, claiming that Somali gangs are terrorizing the people of that great state.
99.99% of the Somali community are hardworking. They're good neighbors. We're trying our best.
Somali community.
I'm sure he's right, but it sounds like we got some real crime here.
From the country's current affordability crisis.
Investigators say once that cash arrived in Somalia, Al-Shabaab took a cut, whether the sender intended that or not. Minnesota is home to one of the country's largest Somali communities. Former state fraud investigator Keish Magan, himself a Somali American, wrote last year that it's uncomfortable and true that nearly all defendants in these major fraud cases come from that community. The U.S. Attorney's Office has charged dozens of defendants across multiple schemes, including housing aid fraud, pandemic child nutrition fraud, and false billing for autism therapy.
So it wasn't just medical.
Total, prosecutors say these schemes have cost Minnesota taxpayers billions of dollars.
Still, there are people that legitimately could use those resources that are not getting those resources.
Right, housing.
It's past criminal.
Critics claim Minnesota leaders have tiptoed around the issue, fearing a backlash from the state's powerful Somali American voting bloc.
Pat, so you mean
That's what it sounds like. Sounds like people want to stay in power at all costs.
And if you notice, Pat, Tim Walz and Ilhan Omar kind of quiet last week.
Yeah, it's their turf.
We talked about all the fraud. It's allegedly been carried out by members of the Somali community. Okay, hundreds of millions of dollars were stolen. This is the story we did last week. Sent back to Somalia.
They sent it out of the country.
Ended up in the hands of Al-Shabaab, a terrorist organization.
Happen?
That's why they're all crickets. Okay. One source even said bigger. He said that the biggest funder of Al-Shabaab is the Minnesota taxpayer.
You gotta be kidding me.
Hey beautiful people, welcome to my YouTube channel. Thank you for stopping by. So all credit goes to the creators in these videos, guys. In today's video, Minnesota is on fire right now, guys, and if you have been following the news, you know why. But in case you don't know, let me keep you up to speed. So people are talking about fraud, government programs being abused, and yes, some Somali Americans are mentioned in the headline, like they are on the hot seat. But let me tell you something. I just believe that in life, right, actions have consequences and nobody is above the law. So here's what's going on in case you don't know. So authorities have been investigating allegedly massive fraud in programs meant to help families and kids. Now, this is money that is supposed to go to feeding children, helping families pay for housing, supporting critical community programs. But the allegations say that people claimed money for services that never happened, guys. And some of these funds might have gone into personal accounts, guys. It's a lot of money. This is not a small error. We are talking about hundreds of millions of dollars, possibly more, guys. This is serious. And now the consequences are catching up with them. And people under investigations, they could go to jail, criminal charges, fines, guys. Their reputations are definitely destroyed for those of them that will be found guilty, and their families are embarrassed. And I feel that this is not just about the money, right? It's about trust, because the public is watching. The media is covering every angle, like they're basically on the hot seat, and politicians are also under pressure to respond. And social media, of course, guys, is going crazy because people are spreading so much information about them being stripped of their citizenship or their deportation. Guys, let's be focused here. The law focuses on actions, and fraud is fraud. You steal, you lie, you pay, right? Nobody gets a free pass just because of where they are coming from. Actions have consequences. And guys, this scandal is just proving that in real time, and it does not stop there. The investigations are ongoing and the media is watching every move, guys. And if you realize, you see that the political fallout is only growing, right? Officials are being questioned, a lot of programs are under review, and the Somali community, they're just bracing up for what's next, guys. Honestly, this is so messy. And one thing is certain, it's not going anytime soon, because I feel that those that break the law should face consequences, because nobody is above the law. Because if you can be able to sleep at night, right, after doing all those alleged things that, you know, were counted against you, if you can sleep safely at night, guys, that just shows the kind of person you are. I really don't know, guys. What do you think in the comment section? Because a lot of people are against them because of this thing they have done, and they are like, you guys came here, we gave you a good life, and then you want to stab us in the back by doing this against us, taking our taxpayers' money, people that go to work every day, and you people are lying, you know, allegedly, to get this money and defraud the system after everything we have done for you, guys. It's so messy and twisted, and apparently a lot of them are facing deportation charges now, guys. Let me know your thoughts. Let's see what these other creators have to say.
Well, Dan, I'm just now learning from a source that the immigration operation in Minnesota is already underway. That is kicked off. That is happening now, where they are targeting Somali immigrants. Now, the administration is saying that they're going to take a targeted approach. Immigration and Customs Enforcement is taking the lead on this one, and that is generally how they work. But that doesn't mean that other immigrants who may be seeking status aren't going to be swept up in these enforcement actions. So this is something that the cities are certainly on alert for.
Seats about 35, supposedly served 18,000 plus meals a day. A day? A day for 7 months.
It said it served 18,000 people.
18,000 plus.
That's ridiculous. That's not even possible. The government has no ability to account for its own activity. That's what we're looking at here. We got a broken system that many people have been calling out for years, and it was totally just plundered by people who knew how to take advantage of it. I mean, you got a restaurant feeding 18,000 people a day, and the place is only this big. Like, you can't even make this stuff up.
A Minnesota rep, Ilan Omar, she was a fixture at this restaurant, the Safari, during her run for office. I think we have a photo of her at the restaurant with her supporters in 2018.
Wow.
Feeding Our Future, that's that corrupt nonprofit. It was the epicenter of it, but others
I wonder if they donated to her.
There were home relocation services, child autism. They were bilking $399 million in services fraud in 2023 alone. To date, 86 people have been indicted and counting.
It's pretty wild, some of the things that you lay out. Including,
it is wild.
One group called Feeding the Future that went from getting $3.4 million in 2019 to $200 million 2 years later.
$200 million.
They grew faster than NVIDIA. How did nobody see that, or is it that
they didn't want to see it?
And the government and those who are supposed to be the watchdogs, like Tim Walz, like Keith Ellison, the Attorney General, they just weren't looking.
These groups are probably donating to politicians.
It's safe to say that there was a real unwillingness or inability among Democratic state officials in Minnesota to recognize some pretty obvious alarm bells here. All across these programs, claims were skyrocketing, absolutely spiraling out of control over a short period of time.
That's crazy.
And the reality is that the Somali community, which is where these large-scale fraud rings have been concentrated within this population in the state, it is a sizable voting bloc. It is a voting bloc you have to win if you're going to win political office in Minneapolis. And
there it is. And these politicians don't want to anger folks who they need votes from to stay in power.
People who spent years calling America racist are now crying online because they're being sent back to the same country they swore was better than here. Y'all like the video right here, follow for more. And let's get into this one. You see the meltdown videos everywhere, tears, anger, demands, but none of them mention the fraud investigations, the expired visas, the money that moved through criminal networks, or the abuse of programs paid for by the taxpayers. The moment accountability shows up, they all act shocked. I look at these videos and all I see is the same contradiction. Somalia is beautiful when they want moral high ground, but Somalia becomes unsafe the moment removal papers arrive. They switch the story depending on what benefits them. The reactions are emotional because the system finally stopped bending. Deportations are happening because laws exist, because agencies uncovered fraud rings, because certain groups are draining millions from health, housing, and social programs that working Americans rely on. There's nothing complicated here. People act like the West owes everyone a comfortable life, like your job is to give everyone else more than what you could give your own family. And that is not how a country works. You cannot build a healthy society by subsidizing the failure of another one. And while all this is going on, the people who should be rebuilding Somalia, protecting Somalia, and modernizing Somalia are here demanding benefits. Their own country loses the adults who should be leading it. But Americans care about Americans who can't afford homes. They care about the people being pushed out of work by cheap labor. They care about a safe country. They do not care about entitlement meltdowns on TikTok. Accountability is not cruelty. Borders are not cruelty. Deportations are not cruelty. They're the basic function of a stable nation.
I feel that this Minnesota scandal is not just about fraud. It's about consequences that are spreading far and wide. Because once these allegations hit, guys, the effects will ripple through politics, programs, and people's lives. And let me tell you this for certain, the fallout is massive. Because if these allegations hold, all these people that are accused will pay. And that is the legal side. And it does not end there. Because I feel like right now, the public trust for them is already broken. And these programs that, are supposed to help people on a normal day may be audited or paused or even cut entirely because there is nobody that wants to risk another scandal, guys. Careers that took years to build have been destroyed in weeks. And politicians are facing backlash and investigation is still ongoing. One thing is certain, that the pressure is real and everybody is feeling it. And even those that did not engage in this scandal will feel it. And no excuses. And a lot of people are saying that there is no sympathy because the law is moving, authorities are watching, and the public is demanding accountability because communities are also feeling this ripple effect. Even those that are not, involved in this alleged fraud are feeling the tension because the headline is everywhere. Your friends, your neighbors, your families, they're all seeing the chaos. And I feel like the fear is just spreading, guys. This is what happens when trust is broken and money is misused. At the end of the day, guys, there's a lesson that we are taking home from here. Actions have consequences. Fraud has consequences, allegedly. So if you cheat the system, it has consequences. And I feel that it's just showing us that no matter who you are, no matter how you think something can be covered up, it's gonna be exposed because these allegations are serious and the consequences are coming. The ripple effects will continue for months and maybe years, guys. A lot of countries are watching, and one thing is clear: if you fraud the system, you will pay. Story is just getting started. But the sad part is that those that don't even know about it, not just Somalis, right? Even normal everyday Americans that don't even have anything to do about this, alleged fraud, are going to feel it one way or the other. It's just going to have ripple effects on every single person. But my question is that the people that frauded, allegedly frauded the system, how do they sleep at night? Like, if these allegations are true, right, that is a lot of money. A lot of money. And you know that this money is from taxpayers that labor day and night, that don't even have anything to show for it, right? They probably work 1, 2, 3, or 4 jobs just to keep, body and soul together. And you're practically doing nothing, and you have the sense to defraud the system and to take other kind of money according to fake programs, according to the fact that you have children in your daycare that you want to take care of, so you get money from the government. Guys, this is so messed up. The more I watch these videos, the more I try to make it make sense, the more I try to unpack it, and every tunnel or every roadblock I hit, it just does not make any sense to me. It doesn't make any sense to me. It's just like biting the finger that fed you. Guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments. I really want to hear from you. Do you think this fraud accusations, do you think they hold? Do you think there are enough reasons for these Somalis to be deported, or those that are found guilty to be deported or to be stripped of their citizenship? Let me hear from you. And if you have found value in this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And I'll definitely see you in my next video. Please stay safe. Mental health is important. Ciao.